Now, I would like for you to do a little test with me to see if you are perhaps dealing with a guilt tripper. Let's say something happens to you that will take your time and attention away from them. You twist your ankle, you get the flu, something happens to a friend or a family member and they need your help. Is there a concern for you? Do they say, "Oh, are you okay? Is there anything I can do to help you? How can I support you through this?" Or do they think, "Oh man, this is going to be so inconvenient for me"? Well, if they only think about themselves rather than thinking about you, chances are quite good that you are dealing with a guilt tripper. And you might say, "Well, why would somebody do that? Why would they intentionally make me feel badly about myself?" And the answer is simple. They do it because guilt works. It gets them what they want. And the thing that you need to know about a guilt tripper is that they will never, ever, ever change. You will never be able to do enough, to be enough, or give enough to satisfy a guilt tripper. They will keep piling it on until you are absolutely, completely depleted and exhausted. They will never think of you before they think of themselves. So if you are tired of jumping through hoops and feeling guilty when you haven't done anything wrong, it will be up to you to say, "Stop it. I am not doing this anymore." Yes, I do know this is a hard habit to break. And I want you to know that I am an incredibly lucky woman. I have been married to a saint of a man since 1996. Alex Sanchez is the best man I have ever known, and I know how lucky I am because before I married Alex, I was married to a raging alcoholic and an accomplished guilt tripper for 19 years. One day I decided I couldn't do this any longer. I could not wait for my children to graduate from high school. I had to end this marriage. So I made an appointment with a counselor. I went into her office and she said, "What would you like to accomplish today?" And I said, "How much time do we have?" And she said, 50 minutes. And I said, okay, great. So what I would like to do in the next 50 minutes is have you tell me how I can get a divorce and make it okay for my soon-to-be ex-husband and my 3 teenage children. And she said, okay. So I took a deep breath and I started telling her how I expected each one of them would react, how it would impact them, how they would feel, and yada, 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 yada. And then I looked at my watch and I said, "Oh my goodness, we are almost out of time. We had 5 minutes left." And she said, "Yes, we are. And you know what? I'm just going to give you one piece of advice." And I said, "Okay, bring it on. I am ready." She said, "I want you to get in your own shoes and stay in them." And I said, I don't think I understand. And she said, "Obviously, you are so wrapped up in everybody else's needs, wants, and feelings that you have no idea where your own begin or end. So I want you to get in your shoes and stay in them. And I want you to allow your husband and your 3 children to stand in theirs." And I said, "Is that possible? Can I really do that?" And she said, "Yes, you can." And then I said, "But he's going to get so angry." And she shrugged and said, Let him stand in his shoes. It is not your responsibility to manage his feelings or make everything okay for him. He's a grown man. His feelings are his responsibility." I was like, wow, this is really radical. And it truly was a revolutionary new way of thinking for me.